Hello. My name is Joanne. It's been a really long time since I did children's time, so some of you don't know who I am. Some of you have joined the church since the last time I did children's time. Some of you have been born since the last time I did children's time. So I'm really glad for this chance to do it. But most of the time, I have a different job at College Mennonite Church. My job at College Mennonite Church is the worship visuals. Now, for the last 2 weeks, now this is the third week, we've had these worship visuals up here. Have you noticed them? What does it look like? What do those look like? What do they look like? And there's a Bible passage and old pots, cracked pots. I think a few people might think that about me. Okay, so this is what, but I bet you everybody's been going, what is this all about? Well, it's about our worship theme for this week. It's about, the worship visuals are about what God was thinking about what the rulers were doing. Now, this is the third Sunday of a new worship series. But this is the first Sunday in which the theme is going to come into focus. And the theme for this worship series is the fall of the kingdom. When I say fall, everybody's a little squirrely. We're going to do this. Okay, pay attention. When I say fall, what do you think of? Do you think of the season? Who thinks of the season fall, autumn? Who thinks about falling down? Okay, so I think the worship leaders are having a little fun with us because they want us to think about both of those things. It's fall, and we're going to talk about the fall of the kingdom. Okay, so today's sermon is about building a house for God, a place for God to meet with his people. Now, I wonder, what kind of house would God want? What kind of home do you think God wants? What do you think, Zeph?
A giant pop-up house.
A giant pop-up house. Well, I wonder who's anticipating something. Do you think God would want a mansion, big house? Do you think God would want a palace? Something really majestic like Buckingham Palace? No. What do you think God would want? I can't hear, can you? An invisible house. Whoa, that's because he's an invisible God. We have to make God visible, don't we? Okay, so we're going to talk, so God, where am I here? Okay, so God decides that he will let the people have a king when they ask for one. Up till then, God has been their king, and now he's going to let them have, then he decides he'll let them have a human king as his representative on earth. And the kings want to build him a house. After Solomon builds himself a really gorgeous palace, he decides, I better build God a really nice temple. And so he does that, but I wonder, does God really want a really big, gorgeous temple? No. God's been living in a tent. He hasn't been living in a tent. God has been meeting God's people in a tent. People need a place, right? God doesn't need one place, but people need a place. And so God has been meeting people in a tent. Who likes staying in a tent? Yeah, okay. So we're going to put up a tent. Now, before we do this, who knows what a jack-in-the-box is? When you wind it, you have a box, and out pops a jack-in-the-box. Right, so you have to be ready for a big surprise. But this tent is so easy to put up that I'm going to ask the 3-year-olds to come help me put this up. That's Micah. Mike has already helped me do this once. Maybe I need a 4-year-old. No? Mike, are you going to do this with me? Can you pull this? Micah's going to do it. This is so easy that, as long as it doesn't pop out before we get it, let me help you. Oh, wouldn't you know the zipper would get stuck? You pull it the rest of the way. Okay, now everybody see where the stick tape is? Stay behind. Okay, now what? I'll kind of take it out of the bag. Are you going to help me some more? Take it out of the bag. Uh-oh, it's coming out. It's coming out. Get back. Get back, Micah. Woo! So that's fun, isn't it? Okay, so I was a little worried that there wouldn't be enough room. Something's gone wrong here. Wouldn't be enough room in this tent for everybody, but there are not so many children here. But let's start with just the 3, the 4, and the 5-year-old and see if they fit in. The 6-year-old can go in. Does anybody else want to go in? Okay. Now, you're going to have to sit up, Micah. Okay, be gentle because this is borrowed. Okay. Okay, so look it. Everybody's in. That's amazing. Okay. Okay, everybody can fit. There's room for enough. Okay. So what are the good things about tents? What do we like about tents?
That they keep out the rain.
They keep out the rain.
It's cozy.
It's cozy.
Yeah, especially with the other people.
You always fit in like sardines, don't you? Okay, what else do we like about tents? What can you do with a tent? Yeah.
What you can do with the tent is you can sleep in it.
Yeah, you can sleep in it. And do you have to buy a place and put it up and leave it there? What can you do? Yeah, you can move it around.
Yeah, you can sleep with clothes in it, right?
Yeah, okay, let's not play with the tent too much, okay, because it is borrowed. Okay, yeah, it moves around. What I like about tents is it's very close to nature, right? And the kind of tents they had in ancient Israel, they could lift up the sides so that they could get a nice breeze so it would keep the sun off, but they'd still be able to see all around and see all nature. Because when you sleep in tents, you hear the crickets, you hear the frogs, you hear the owls. It's lots of fun, and you feel very close to nature, but you feel cozy. And you know what? I think God liked all those things too. Now, yeah, one more thing?
No, it was pushing back, so I was going to try.
Oh, okay, pull it forward. Yeah, because we've got some people who are trying to sleep in this tent. Okay, now God's prophets, do you know what prophets are? They're people who bring messages from God. God's prophets wondered if the kings were actually trying to box God in, like shove him down into the jack-in-the-box and box him in, keep him contained. They thought maybe by bringing God the things God needed, they could keep him inside high walls. People would bring gifts, right, to God in God's temple, and maybe if God was so busy accepting people's gifts, he wouldn't notice what the kings were doing outside the temple. But do you think God really just wants gifts? What does God want?
Nature.
Pardon?
Nature.
Nature. He likes nature. God likes nature.
10% of your week's profit.
Oh, yeah, 10% of your week's profit. Tithing. Okay. No, try not to lean so much. Okay. What else does God like? What does God want from us?
Payment. To be paid.
To be paid? I think we need to address the Sunday school curriculum here. What does God want? God wants all of that, but what does he want us to do?
To worship.
Worship him and?
He wants us
He wants us to share. He wants us to be good, right? He wants a hug. He wants us to make room for everybody in the tent, right? So it's a good thing today we have a small group so everybody could fit in the tent, right? Okay, but I think you guys all know what God really wants. So on with, Micah, one more thing.
All the people can go in a tent, or some of people can go in a tent.
Yes, all the people can go in, or some of the people can go in. So I think we're going to get out of the tent now. Yeah, and then we're going to try and put it back into the bag. Okay. Okay, away we go. Out we go. Max just wants to stay in God's house forever. I think there's a psalm about that. Okay, out we go, Max. I think, Max, out we go. We're going to put it together outside. Okay, we're going to do it outside, okay?